What's up, everybody? Want to give you a quick video on the carbon stick from Latitude, and yeah, it's been a long time coming for people getting these. I finally got mine, and I just wanted to give you guys kind of a rundown of what my opinion was on it. Some things I think are very important, worth noting, and you don't really realize it till you actually get your hands on one of these and you run it on the tree for a little bit. So I'm going to talk about that, but first, just want to say this is a very impressive product. I'm finally able to get my hands on a carbon climbing stick. Who would have thought that that would have happened? It's finally happened. Somebody designed one that was worth, you know, getting out there to the public, and this is it. Not only that, they're based in Grand Rapids, and that's my playground. I grew up here in Michigan. So other than the weight, obviously the weight is a huge factor on these guys. The other thing that was kind of impressive to me was just the no metal you know, attachment method. And I'm sure you're gonna see me do it wrong, but it's fairly quick to do. So the first thing that I noticed when I stepped on this thing was how short of a standoff distance it has from the tree. And I know you can look at the specs and you can read, you know, compare it to the standoffs on other sticks, but until you actually get your foot on this, do you realize how shallow of a standoff distance it really has. I feel like I'm stepping on my tippy toes with these guys. For some guys that might not be a big deal. For me, it was kind of a big con, honestly. Like, I did not feel comfortable on these sticks like for long periods of time. Like if I was climbing and then I was like stuck on the stick and I had to tether in because I saddle hunt, and I had to tether in and, you know, get a shot off at a deer, like I wouldn't feel all that comfortable compared to being on some of the other sticks that I've had in the past. So that was kind of a con. And honestly, I don't know if it's anything that they can do anything about, because their tolerances have to be so tight with this being carbon fiber, or, you know, carbon technology, or, you know, whatever kind of poly that they're using to make this. They might not have been able to get the standoffs much bigger and still be able to keep this within the weight rating that it is. So it already has a decent amount of flex when you step on it, which is to be expected with it being a plastic material. Nothing to necessarily be concerned about, but like I said, I don't think they could actually have designed this with the kind of standoff that would actually make me happy. So not necessarily a con as much as it is like, this isn't my personal preference. It was just kind of a bummer to me, I guess. The other thing I noticed right off the bat that I think is worth mentioning is that this thing has some noise to it. And I know it's like, you know, you can, if you have multiple sticks and you're stacking them, you can get some stealth strips and you can tape them up so that that noise level is out of the way. But the noise level that you can't really do anything about is when you're setting it on the tree and then when you're pulling it off the tree. And it's a very distinct noise. It's definitely noisier than aluminum stick standoffs. And what I've kind of realized is, I think it's just because the profile of the standoff that's biting the tree, it's a larger profile, and then coupled with the plastic that this stick is made out of, which is flexible, so it does have a little bit of vibrative, you know, elements to it. I think you just get kind of a louder noise when you're setting the stick, and I've noticed it like a lot on different kinds of trees. So like I did like a noise test, and I tried to see if I could, you know, get much of a noise difference on some of these trees around here. And honestly, you might not have heard anything that was concerning to you or been able to tell much of a difference, but I did notice a difference right off the bat. And that's just something that you're not gonna be able to compare until you actually get one of these and you set it up on a tree and you climb with it. One thing I was really worried about with this stick is just having a place to grab, because these standoffs are connected into the step. They're not offset like a lot of traditional sticks. You don't have that big step on the top to grab when you're climbing. And I found that not to be quite as big of a deal as I thought it would be. I could grab the middle here, I could grab the post, so that wasn't that big of a deal. I will say, because of this being a flat surface on the top, I would probably mod that and put some grip tape or something up there. I've seen a lot of guys do that just to help your boot not slip or anything like that, since it is a very small area that your boots are on. I would for sure put some grip tape there or something. I really like how the rope wraps up. And then one thing I really like is on this bottom step, it is the perfect size to fit. This is an aider from the aim seal guy, but you can put, you know, all sorts of aiders on. I know they have a 1-step aider. This is a 3-step aider. And so you can put, you know, some aiders on. They fit perfectly on these little ends that they've got on their step. So that part's cool. So who is this for? I think this is a perfect stick for guys that are wanting to carry multiple sticks in. And if you use that 1-step aider like they've got, your profile is pretty minimal. You know, it is kind of bulky to put on the back of your pack or whatever, but they're very light, so you're not going to necessarily feel it. I would stealth strip the heck out of them, grip tape them like I said. For saddle hunters wanting a 1-stick, I will tell you that I tried the 1-stick. I really tried to use this guy in a 1-sticking situation, and I think what it came down to was, one, I can't mod this stick out. So I can't, as far as like screwing into it, I can't do any of that. That's the one bummer about carbon fiber is, or carbon sticks, plastic sticks in general, is the technology is great, but it cannot be, you know, it's not like an aluminum post where you can just drill into it. So I got to use the attachment method they have with these wings, and it wasn't horrible, but I will tell you, trying to one-handedly take this am steel and, you know, get it through their cinch claw here on the edge, it wasn't the easiest thing to do when you're reaching way up high in the tree, which is what you're doing when you're 1-sticking, and you're setting your stick way up there. And then, you know, a cam cleat is 100 million times easier than that. So that was one thing I just couldn't really get myself to like. And then the other thing I think was just the standoff. I just did not feel comfortable. I felt like I was falling off the tree kind of, just because of how short of a standoff it is. So for those reasons, I'm not going to be 1-sticking with it. I could definitely see myself having 2 more and then having this be a set, but my setup is already set up for 1-sticking, and it's just a lot easier for me to 1-stick. I enjoy the process. I think it's easier, so it's my preferred method. If you know, if you're set on doing it this way, I think this is probably a really good option for you. Like heck, you could probably only carry 2 of these guys in with a 3-step aider, and you could probably get, you know, 12 foot up in a tree. So is it a be-all end-all stick? No. Like a lot of these new sticks we're seeing that are coming out, it's kind of niche, and I think it's definitely for some guys and definitely not for other guys. So hopefully this was helpful to you in some way. I'd encourage you, see if you can get your hands on one of these from a buddy, or if you know of somebody that has them, go say like, hey, can I borrow these for like a week and just try them out? Because I think this is a stick that you kind of have to be on and put it through the paces to really get a feel for if this is for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope your season's going great, and we'll catch you in the next one.